America is having an identity crisis, and it's starting to look like a grown country acting like a 17-year-old who doesn't know who they are yet, trying on 1,000 hats, switching aesthetics every 5 minutes, convinced that if they just wear the right costume, they'll finally feel solid, instead of growing into itself. America is cosplaying other people's pasts, and the result is loud, shallow, and frankly embarrassing. There's this obsession right now with old Europe, with white villages, church bells Christmas Eve, nuclear families, rigid rules, and hymns that sound serious enough to pass for depth. But what the people pushing this fantasy don't understand, because they've never lived it, is that those traditions were never hollow symbols. In Italy, tradition grew out of poverty, family density, Catholic discipline, and survival. Food wasn't culture for Instagram. It was memory, inheritance, and continuity in a world where nothing was guaranteed. In Austria, Christmas wasn't a performance. It was weeks of preparation, fasting, confession, silence, and walking home from midnight. Mass with snow under your feet and your breath visible in the dark, knowing something sacred had just passed through you. In Germany, order wasn't a vibe. It was discipline forged by history and by a collective memory of what happens when ideology replaces morality. In Romania, faith wasn't cute or optional. It was existential, something people clung to when the state failed them, and survival demanded meaning beyond politics. These cultures didn't wake up one day and decide to be traditional. They were forged that way, through famine, war, occupation, restraint, and generational continuity. Tradition was not chosen. It was endured, carried, and protected. What American far-right movements are doing now isn't reverence. It's appropriation without understanding. They grab songs like Silent Night and shout them like slogans, stripping them of the stillness and humility they were born from. That hymn wasn't meant to be barked into a crowd or weaponized in culture wars. It was written in a poor Austrian church for people who understood silence, restraint, and reverence. You don't get the song without the stillness. You don't get the cross without the suffering. You don't get the church without confession, discipline, and accountability. What they're offering isn't Christianity. It's authoritarian branding, wrapped in religious aesthetics. And here's the part that completely collapses the fantasy. European Catholic tradition, especially in places like Austria and Italy, has long involved churches working with governments to shelter immigrants, house refugees, feed the displaced, and protect the vulnerable. Not because it was fashionable, but because Christ was a refugee. That's not modern politics. That's doctrine. That's theology. That's actual tradition. You don't get to cherry-pick European values while rejecting their moral backbone. What's really happening here isn't about faith at all. It's about insecurity. America doesn't know who it is anymore. So instead of deepening its own values, pluralism, reinvention, civic responsibility, constitutional restraint, cultural synthesis, it panics. And panic makes people cosplay. So they throw on European hymns, medieval aesthetics, traditional family slogans, fake religiosity, flags, nostalgia, and merchandise, and they call it identity. But identity isn't something you buy. It isn't something you force, and it isn't something you steal. Identity is something you earn through maturity, restraint, and honest self-development. Europe already exists. It doesn't need to be recreated badly in America. America was supposed to be something else. Entirely a place that learns from history, instead of reenacting it, that builds forward instead of backward, that's mature enough to stop pretending borrowed traditions will fix internal rot. Right now, America doesn't need a crown, a cross used as a prop, or a costume from someone else's past. It needs to grow up. Because this entire performance, the obsession with being something you're not, is not tradition. It's a nation standing in front of the mirror, trying on hats, terrified to commit, terrified to mature, and unwilling to do the harder work of becoming itself.